Today, we are going to debunk myths about one of the most underrated supplements in women's health. When it comes to creatine, it seems like all the information is directed at the male bodybuilder, the gym rat who wants to look big and strong. But what if I tell you that women benefit more from creatine consumption than men? This video is for women concerned about their performance, body composition, or mental health. Throughout it, you will discover how creatine can be a very powerful tool for women. Let's discuss the basics first before exploring how it applies to various aspects of life, including sports. Creatine is a tripeptide, the union of 3 amino acids, and is naturally found in animal-based foods, such as red meat and fish. Your body also produces it at a rate of 1 or 2 grams per day. So, creatine is a non-essential nutrient that you can supplement with. Pay close attention to this fact because it's key in today's video. Women have endogenous creatine reserves 70 to 80% lower than men, and you also ingest less creatine with your diet. Since your baseline levels are significantly lower, you have much more to gain from supplementation. However, as I said at the beginning, the commercial target of creatine has always been the male looking to get buff in the gym. Fortunately, this is changing and it is becoming known in clinical environments and also in women. To summarize its functions, creatine provides energy support for your cells, especially in high-intensity activities. As an ancillary function, it also reduces the drop in intramuscular pH with intense exercise, as it buffers hydrogen ions. In other words, it allows you to continue exerting high intensity for a longer period of time. But it's also a good helper for improving brain health. It enhances recovery after training and has positive effects on cellular hydration. You might have wondered, in what specific ways can creatine help women? That is, what are the differences in creatine consumption between men and women? Well, women experience many more physiological and hormonal changes throughout life than men do. In adolescence, adulthood, and later in the postmenopausal stage. These changes affect the synthesis of creatine, its transport, its metabolism, or even its bioavailability. Topics that are worth studying in depth. You may have wondered what specific advantages exist. Well, let's see them. During menopause, we have the best window of opportunity to start taking creatine. The abrupt loss of estrogen affects muscle and bone mass, decreasing them. Creatine monohydrate combined with strength training can help at this stage to preserve muscle mass and improve bone mineral density. Although we will talk about menopause doses in the end, studies see benefits with intakes of at least 5 grams daily. As for the menstrual cycle and performance, hormonal fluctuations throughout the cycle also affect creatine stores in the body. This can be especially useful during the luteal phase, after ovulation when estrogen and progesterone levels are higher and the body has greater energy needs. This graph shows the enzyme that converts creatine into phosphocreatine and vice versa, illustrating creatine turnover. And that is key in all of this. Creatine kinase increases its activity according to the concentration of estrogens. In the ovulatory phase, when there is a peak of estrogens, the CK greatly increases its activity because more creatine is being used. In parallel, protein recycling is increased and glycogen accumulation in the muscle is reduced at this stage. For this reason, some authors argue that creatine supplementation in women could be much more effective in the luteal phase from ovulation until the start of a new cycle. Conclusive human studies on drug and supplement safety during pregnancy are lacking for almost all options. Animal studies suggest that it might have a neuroprotective effect on the offspring, not just on the mother. And we have also seen that a reduction in creatine deposits during pregnancy has been associated with low birth weight and preterm birth. So creatine also plays an important role during pregnancy. Aside from the specific benefits, we have the benefits shared with males, although enhanced, as you will see. In the case of strength, studies show increases ranging between 8 and 14%. These are strength increases far greater than what we see in men. In some studies, like this one by Van den Berge, women who followed a creatine supplementation protocol increased their RM in leg press. Between 20 and 25%, which is a lot. However, in most studies, much more moderate results are seen, which also depend on whether the sample studied was sedentary or not. Prior to supplementation, of course. Finally, creatine could help you recover faster from your workouts, allowing you not only to incorporate more intensity into them, but also more weekly volume without harming your health. That greater training stimulus will result in greater adaptations to it, hormonal changes in cell hydration and gene expression, which ultimately lead to that increase in strength hypertrophy. Now we are going to answer the most third myths about creatine consumption in women. creatine is going to make me gain weight. The fear of gaining weight with creatine is totally unjustified. That rapid weight gain is more common in males than in females. In addition, the one that also occurs in women is caused by an increase in hydration in the muscle cell. That is, you may gain 1 to 2 kilograms, although this does not occur in all women, especially if you do a creatine loading phase. But we are talking at all times about intracellular water, not fat, not even extracellular water, which would demineralize you, give you a bloated appearance. That's not the case. Creatine is going to masculinize me. Creatine is not a hormone, it's not an androgen, it has no masculinizing effects at all, nor does it act on hormonal receptors. It simply doesn't work like that. It's energy for your cells. It's an adenosine triphosphate recycler. It will help you add muscle by allowing you to train more intensely with increased energy. Muscle is not only sexy, it's also healthy. And that's why creatine can help you look with that athletic tone and aesthetically muscled. Masculinizing is something that only androgens can achieve, which by the way also abuses women, not just men. Only men should take creatine. This statement has no scientific support whatsoever. And in fact, what studies tell us is that women could actually benefit more than us due to their lower basal deposits. Is creatine only for high-performance athletes or those who train a lot? Although creatine monohydrate will improve performance in high-intensity sports, you don't need to be an Olympic athlete to benefit from it. In fact, the greatest benefits often occur in normal people who train regularly or play some sport as a hobby. Its use is also becoming widespread past 65 for specific benefits, which we can review in another video if you want. Creatine is safe and well studied. Its safety has been confirmed numerous times. Moreover, doses are much higher than public use, including for children and teenagers at various life stages. You should have much more respect for the 2 drinks you have on Friday nights than for creatine. What additional beneficial clinical effects does creatine have in women? Let's talk about mental health and depression. The prevalence of depression is twice as high in women compared to men. Interestingly, the severity of a depressive episode has been associated with the levels of creatine and phosphocreatine in the brain's white matter. The less creatine, the more severe the depression. And also interesting is their sexual dimorphism in terms of creatine and the brain. You have lower levels of creatine in the frontal lobe. That's why creatine monohydrate is being successfully used as an adjuvant in the treatment of depression, giving it along with antidepressants. It improves brain function and sleep. Yes, it's also good for your brain. Studies suggest that it could enhance cognitive function and memory, benefiting everyone. How? During high mental activity, phosphocreatine levels drop to maintain adenosine triphosphate levels in the brain. Creatine supplementation increases adenosine triphosphate resynthesis, improving attention, memory, and cognition in these situations. As for sleep, periods like the first month and years, sometimes in motherhood, and the inherent alterations to menopause. They make you lose many hours of sleep in your life, which also affect you worse. Well, here creatine has been shown to reduce the negative effects of that lack of sleep, not eliminate them. Okay, now that you're convinced of its benefits, you might be wondering, how do I take creatine correctly? As for the recommended amount, in many studies, they start with a loading dose of 20 grams a day, divided into 4 doses over a week. Afterwards, a maintenance dose of 3 to 5 grams per day is usually given. Really, the only advantage of that loading dose in men and women is to saturate the deposits more quickly. But you can completely ignore it if you find it uncomfortable or impractical. With or without food, you can take it at any time of the day. But some studies suggest that it is slightly more effective if you consume it with carbohydrates, for example in your shake, post-workout. And what type of creatine? Well, the best option is creatine monohydrate. It's the most studied, effective, and safe. Don't be fooled by marketing offering you premium creatines, as there are no major differences here. I've been taking this one from full gas for years, now in a half-kilo format, and you'll see how its digestive tolerance is very good. Something that doesn't happen with all brands. How long do I take it? Do I need to take breaks? Since it's not a hormonal substance and doesn't generate tolerance, there's no significant reason to take breaks from creatine. It's taken every day, even on rest days, and if you want to stop taking it, you can. You can stop taking it whenever you want. In this video, I explain what happens when you stop taking creatine monohydrate. It's not just for men or bodybuilders. If you're a woman, want to look and feel better, improve your physical or mental performance, you should consider it. Your comments, experiences, and doubts are important to us and help shape our new content. For more science-based health optimization content, subscribe to the channel. See you next time. A big hug and keep empowering.